Saturday, and this is what I see while living on the edge of a country area. The cows are grazing this morning. So let's go for this 2-mile walk, and then I have many things to catch you up on. Oh, it's beautiful this morning. I am ready to walk. And another little friend joining me today on my walk. They pretend that they are rocks and that you cannot see them. Sometimes he'll stay still, sometimes he runs away. We'll see. And this is my meal tonight. We had a food truck visit our town, and it is Mexican food, and I chose the beef tacos. So this looks absolutely wonderful. I'm so excited. Well, this is the current condition of my garage. I pulled my car over to one side. We are getting ready for our garage sale, and I will take a better picture in the morning when we've got more light and show you details. But this is the table where we sit up, and we sit close to the jewelry and stuff. But anyway, I'll take, like I said, better pictures tomorrow morning. My sister is bringing some tables. I had 3 tables that I use for my jewelry sales, and so those worked out pretty good. And then we've got quite a few clothes. Now these are the Poshmark clothes that belong to my great nieces, and I'm not going to uncover those yet until tomorrow. And then we had some better clothes that we're going to hang, and then some other clothes that we're going to put on tables here. And a lot of these are Suzanne's, so that'll help me see the difference between which ones are hers and which ones are mine. And then, this table over here just has home style stuff and purses and things like that. And I am selling the quilt that I had on Suzanne's bed. But, this is what you're looking at so far. Last year when we had it, we had to actually use the floor. So I'm not sure where I'm going to put these bags, but we did have to use those last year. So when my sister comes tomorrow, she's going to come with her granddaughter and bring all of the things that she wants to sell. So this is how it's going to go. And Miss Oreo, she hasn't been in here. She doesn't bother anything. She might look, but she really doesn't bother stuff, and which is good. She doesn't jump on anything. She might sniff it, and that's about it. So anyway, more to come. And I'm not showing myself right now because I have been out here since about 9 o'clock this morning. No makeup. My hair's a mess, so I'm just not gonna, show myself until tomorrow when I'm a little bit more put together. But anyway, garage sale 2025, here we go. Well, here's what is going on in my garden right now. The daylilies are feeling the August heat. We are now having some 100-degree days. So things don't look good, even though my husband waters every other day. They just don't look as good as they do in June. But my knockout roses are doing fair. This bush has just gotten crazy big. I probably need to cut it back next spring. And I just saw a snake go by a few minutes ago. I've got a plant that died that I'm going to have to, it finally uprooted. So I'm going to have to take this out and think about what I'm going to plant next year here. But the snake went right through that hole right there. I don't think it was anything poisonous, but it's never good for me to see a snake. And the pine cones that I have on the ground that come from our pine trees that are up here, I usually just throw these over into the just for ground cover. I don't know if it's smart or not, but I just have a lot of pine cones in there. with these nandinas. And I keep my nandina really low. It's probably not good to chop it down. Now this nandina, I let it grow, but I'm only going to keep it that tall if I can possibly do that. Because if you don't kind of keep a watch on them, then they get out of control. And this tree, I didn't know what it was, and I didn't cut it back. So now it has gotten this big. So you kind of have to get after these garden things. And finally, one crepe myrtle that has done pretty well. It has grown up as tall as I am, and it is now beginning to bloom. They don't bloom until the middle of August. So it's just now starting to do its thing. They are beautiful and they smell like honey. I love to get up close to them and smell. But they are going to be blooming this month. And then, like I said, my daylilies have kind of seen their day, so to speak, because they are slowing down. And then some of my roses are still doing okay. These roses, for some reason, have taken on kind of an icy look. And they've never looked like this before. So I don't know if there's some natural crossbreeding going on here. Because most of the time they look like this. And now they're looking like this. And it's not because they're about ready to die. That's just the color that they've taken on. I don't know what the deal is with that. But anyway, most of my roses are doing fair, but they just don't bloom all the time. They have their day. This daylily's doing very well with its little partners over here. That rose is doing pretty good. And then I have a few daylilies blooming here. Now this crepe myrtle is not happy, and I don't know if it's because of the location. I don't know why that one over there would do better than this one. I don't know what the difference would be, but it has never gotten very tall, and it always looks like it's about ready to die. So I don't know. Anyway, and those plants that I cut back, I believe they're sedums, I believe. They're doing okay, and they're not laying flat on the ground. So hopefully they won't do what they did last year, which was to completely lay on the ground when autumn got here, because that's when they bloom, is in the autumn. So I've got one there, I've got one over here, and then I've got one way on the other side of the yard. And then these were my new plants, and the daylilies have done pretty good. The rose bush is struggling, but it will be okay. It's getting ready to bloom right here. It'll be okay next year. I think it's fine. And then these daylilies have just cratered. And I think the problem is this right here. They don't get enough sun. So probably next year, this is going to be my job to dig up these bulbs and transplant them somewhere else, because they are not happy at all. I mean, not at all. We never use this wood. I don't know why it's still here, but anyway, chrysanthemums are starting to show color. And then I've got a few daylilies over here that have bloomed. They're not right now. And then these over here that get a lot of shade, they are also not happy. So they may need to be transferred. Look who came to visit. Look who's here. Hi, Miss Oreo. Hello. She always wonders what I'm doing when I'm walking around the yard. This has gotten out of control. Next year I probably need to get a hold of it. This boxwood, I should have trimmed it long ago, and it's starting to fall apart. If anybody has boxwoods, tell me if it's okay for me to get in there and just trim it up next spring. I don't know, but it's crazy big. It's out of control. And then my sister-in-law gave me some plants, and I will insert a picture in a minute. We didn't know if they would even come up, they are coming up. I just don't know if they're going to survive. But I made a little circle, semicircle around a plant that completely died here. So, what is it, Miss Oreo? What are you talking to me about, huh? What are you talking about? Are you having a fit? She is really vocal. She's trying to tell me something. She's pretty good about watching for snakes too. Boy, she lets you know if there's a snake near. And then this rose bush is still blooming for me. It's kind of got a wayward stem over here that's a different color. Maybe somebody might know why this shoot that comes from the same plant has purple leaves, and it's from exactly the same plant as this. So I don't know why that happened, but aren't those pretty? They are doing beautiful. My Asiatic lilies, not good. And there she goes. She's resting. They've about had it. And I'm not going to get any more of these. They bloom like in June for a couple of weeks and then they're done. So I think I'm going to replace those next year with daylilies, which always do really well for me. So that's the current state of my garden. My front plants are doing okay. My geraniums do just fine. They're hot. They always kind of show. And hey y'all, I found me an owl to try to keep those blackbirds away from my porch and deck. So anyway, yeah, the geraniums do okay. This one's not so great. This one is getting ready to bloom again. It has beautiful coral blooms on it. And there are several places where it's going to start blooming, so it'll be pretty. And then those are doing okay, except the leaves are a little bit yellow, but that happens to me in August. Here's my other boxwood. It's not quite as big as that other one, and I do keep it trimmed up, but it's still a little bit bigger than I would like for it to be. And then these just make my day happy. These are they have done very well, and I've got several blooms starting. They still, every once in a while, there'll be one that will fall off, that it will not completely come open. But I have one open here, isn't that gorgeous? And one open down here. Oh, I am just crazy about hibiscus, and it's been a good plant for, seems like, a pot. I know that I can't keep it probably in this climate that we have, because we do get to 0 temperatures, but I will definitely look for another one. And then my these don't ever bloom. Sometimes they will have a flat white lace looking flower on it, but never have had the beautiful hydrangeas that I see in different parts of the country, like the pinks and the blues and all that. These are just, they've grown this year, I think, because of our June rains, but they're definitely not going to give me any color. If anybody knows about hydrangeas, and living in the Texas Panhandle area, I don't know if we would even be able to have the colorful hydrangeas or not, but it sure would be fun if they would grow. So, you know, they're located up here by my deck and surrounded by these trees and vinca vines and all of that. So anyway, this is the current state of my massive garden, and I'm going to have to come out Monday and get this taken care of and get into it. She just needed some attention. Isn't that right? You just needed some attention. Yep. She loves a back rub, and she loves a neck rub, and she just loves this side of her face right here. For some reason, she likes for me to rub right in there. She just loves it. All right, I'm not really much more presentable than I was the other day. These have just been some pretty rough makeup-less days. Yesterday I didn't put any makeup on because I was out in the garage getting the garage sale items ready. My sister and her granddaughter came this morning, and we set up her items that she wanted to put in the garage sale. So I have been busy for the past, ever since I got home from Suzanne's, and let me catch you up on that. I had a really nice time with Suzanne, my daughter. She is a high school art teacher in a town that's about 90 plus 30 would be about 120 miles away. And so every year, for as long as I can remember, she's been teaching, 9 years with her own classes. And then she was a paraprofessional for 2 years, and then she was a substitute for a year. So she's been doing stuff through the school system for about, I think, 12 years. But anyway, when she finally became a teacher herself and had classes in the previous town that she taught, I would go help her there. And then since she's lived in this city for 6 years, going on 7, I go with her every year, and we get her house ready and her room ready, and we just enjoy spending, it's nearly a week that I stay with her, and we go through her house. We have been, the past couple of years, pulling out stuff for garage sales or to put in, for donation, or to put on Poshmark, or whatever it is that she needs to do. So let's see, that's where I was last week. And then the weekend we got our hair done, which, don't judge me right now, it needs to be washed, and I will do that tomorrow. I've just had to put it up and away to get this garage sale stuff done. But last week we spent Sunday afternoon and evening cleaning her home and getting it all ready. We spent Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and part of Thursday working on her classroom. Thursday we had a chiropractor appointment, and I don't think I even recorded any of that, because we had to go to that town and then go right back to her town and go back to school and work. So it's just taken pretty much the whole time to get everything ready. And then Friday of last week, she had a work day, so I stayed at her home, finished up some cleaning, and then we headed back to our home and had our hair appointment last weekend. So this week she has had in-service times, and if you're a teacher, you know what that means. They get you prepared for the new year. They also tell you a bunch of things that you're going to have to do for the new year. And I don't know if she's going to put a lot on her channel, but if you're interested in teachers, her channel is dedicated not only to fashion and what she does day by day and week by week, but she does talk a little bit about school. So check out her channel, and I have that always linked in my description box. So I am back to normal. I cleaned house on Monday. I dusted. Tuesday I did the vacuuming and mopping and polishing the wood floors. And then Wednesday I cleaned out the garage, got it all cleaned out, and got some things of mine set up. And then of course, like I said, today my sister came and we did hers. Tomorrow there's still another day of school. So what's going to happen is my sister's going to pick up Suzanne from her town, because my sister only lives 30 miles from Suzanne. So she and her granddaughter are going to go pick up Suzanne after school. They're going to come to my house. They're going to spend the night on Friday. And then Saturday we will get up and we'll have our garage sale. I probably, it's difficult to have a sale and talk to people and film, so there probably won't be a lot of filming going on. I wish I had picked up the camera. We have a new shop in our town. It's called The Ham, and they have different deli meats and cheeses. They have a lot of sugar-free and low-sugar items and a lot of organic items. Anyway, I spent $70. Maybe tomorrow morning I can show you a little bit of what I bought at that store. I can't show you everything because I can't remember what I bought. Anyway, we made a quick sandwich before they took off because they were going to go see my sister's son, who lives about 120 plus 40. He lives 200 miles away from me, so it's quite a distance. Anyway, they were going to go see him, let her granddaughter visit with the cousins and enjoy them. And then they'll be here tomorrow and then all day Saturday. And then they're going to go home Saturday because my sister sings in the choir at church, and they're going to take Suzanne home. So we got a lot going on. And I wish I could have recorded for you a little bit different scenery to look at. Last week it would have been really fun, but I'm telling you, we worked at school and then we came home and went through her house, room by room, drawer by drawer. She cleaned out. You know, it's just she wants a fresh start every year, and I certainly understand that. And I even came home and I thought, man, I want a fresh start. I just need to get back in gear and, you know, get myself back to normal, which is my daily walk and, of course, my cleaning routine. And then I guess next week, after everybody's settled and back in school, her city starts school on Tuesday, and our town here starts school Wednesday. So summer is over for teachers and kids in this part of Texas, which is sad. I always think, man, they need to be still swimming and working in the farms and, you know, the little kids playing outside and riding bikes. And, you know, there's not a lot of that anymore. When I was growing up, I did nothing but ride my bicycle and play outside. And we don't see a lot of playing outside anymore. I don't know what kids do. I really don't. I have no clue what kiddos are up to these days. I just don't see them outside. I don't know. It's kind of sad. The days of old where you stayed out from 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night are over, I guess, because that's what I did. I was an outdoor girl, playing outside, doing all sorts of stuff. Things have changed. So, anyway, next week, back to normal, and I guess I will either be painting or making jewelry again. I haven't decided which one. I did not get to do a craft show that I wanted to do on Saturday because of the garage sale. So that got X'd out. And then I'm seriously thinking about doing a craft show in October. It is a major craft show. It's very large. It also costs a lot. The 10 by 10 booth costs $170 for a day and a half. And that is just so hard for me to justify because my stuff is not that popular and I don't sell that much. If you've been with me for a while, you know what I do. Art-wise, the neighbor is going to mow. That's okay. Art-wise and otherwise, you know that I paint and draw and make jewelry and make crafts all the time. But I've never gotten to a point where I am something that people want to. In other words, my dreams after teaching have not necessarily come true. I've prayed about it a lot, I've also prayed that the Lord will keep me busy because I do not want to rust. I want to stay active. I've talked about that a lot. If you're new to my channel, I am 67 years old, years young, thank you, and I want to stay busy. I do not want to sit in a chair. I like to read, and I will do that, but no, I want to do things and go places and, still be vibrant and alive. That's why I spend a lot of time with my daughter, and we do a lot of things on the weekend. And yes, I will still be going to estate sales. So for those of you that enjoy that, let me know. Do you like the estate sales? Do you like for me to share that? Or would you rather see more home and that sort of videos, or more art stuff that I do? I'd love to know. But for my 214 subscribers, bless your heart, and thank you so much. I appreciate it. I am always just thrilled that anybody would want to watch me. An old retired teacher who just enjoys sharing life. And I do love my life. That's why I named my channel what I did. Lora Loves Life. I do. It's just not the kind of life that most people lead. I'm very conservative and always have been, but very happy. And happy with the choices that I've made. I had a good life teaching. I taught for 29 years. I really enjoyed teaching art. I didn't get to do it a lot. That was really my choice, what I wanted to do. It's just not what I got to do. And kindergarten and first grade was fine. It just wasn't my favorite. I loved art. And yet, teaching the little ones, I still got to experience a lot of fun art activities with them, even while teaching all the subjects. You can incorporate many subjects into the art world, so it was fun doing that. So anyway, I just thought I would catch you up on what I've been doing and where I'm going and where I'm heading and what is coming up in the future, and I will bring you along as much as I can. Again, blessings to everyone, and I will see you again soon. All right, here is my garage sale that I will be hanging out tomorrow morning. On one side I did green, and on the other side I did kind of a pink color, because I'm going to hang this between, or it's going to fit over a pole so that it'll show on both sides. And then I spent time today blowing up some balloons, and I'm going to tie these to the pole out there, and that way it will kind of attract attention and let people know that the garage sale is here, and see what it looks like. So I moved my car, and my sister's going to be coming pretty soon, and she will park here for the evening, but then tomorrow morning she will move her car out where my car is. So I just went around the corner and parked my car. You can see it out there. I hate leaving it in the heat, and today is one of our hottest days. It is going to be about 105, like at 5 o'clock. It's about 4:45, and so I heard that we were going to get to 105. And actually, was it yesterday that we reached 100 degrees in this part of our country for the first time, which is unusual because usually by now we've hit 100 several times, but this has been a rather cool summer, and so we're getting our surprise now. It's hot, so yeah. So let's go in the garage and see what we've got for sale. I feel like I'm conducting my own estate sale. I may move these tables over a little bit so that people can get through. I don't think we're going to be bringing anything else out, but let's just go from the side and start in. Now, some of this is items from my sister. She used to have a store, and a lot of the items that she had in her store, she has kept. So she's going to try to get rid of some of the things that she sold in her store. And then the things that are up here on top are mine. I just, you know, why am I keeping a bottle, Coke bottles? I don't know. They're kind of vintage, but it's not really my style, so I'm going to get rid of those. And some medicine containers, a lampshade that came on a lamp that I bought at an estate sale that I've changed the lampshade. This one just didn't work out for me. It still works, but I'm going to get rid of it. This one came from my mother-in-law's home, and it's actually my sister-in-law's. These are vintage milk glass lamps, and Suzanne might want them, so if she does, we'll just take that sign off and let her have those. Car phone chargers. I've got a lamp harp that I don't need. Never used hanging mirror back there in the back. I thought that would be so neat to have that hanging up on the side like they do in hotels, but I just don't want to poke the holes in the walls to do it, so I'm not going to keep it. These curtains were hanging in the guest room forever, and I'm getting rid of those. They came from Anthropologie, so they're quite nice. A pillow that I had in my kitchen I don't want anymore. Lampshades that don't fit. These are Suzanne's. She's got a curling wave iron, and then various things. If we want like several things at a time to sell, we put them in a bag. It's kind of like a grab bag kind of thing. Some purses. These two are Suzanne's. This one is mine. I got this in an estate sale, and I've decided that I don't think that it's real, and so I'm just gonna sell it, and I will certainly go much lower than that if needed. It's in good shape. I just question the quality, and I'm not sure that it's a true Coach. The fabric looks like it is, but I don't know. I really don't know why I bought it. It was a spur of the moment, and we'll just see. If it doesn't sell, okay, I'll carry it. A pillow that I'd have gotten at Kirkland's for winter. I don't need any more. A little Christmas bag, and then these are cosmetic bags that came from like Lancome and Estee Lauder, but I don't want to just give them away. You know, let's get $1 out of them if we can. A shower curtain, and I talked about this the other day. This was a Garnet Hill twin size quilt with a sham and a Euro sham. So I'm going to get rid of that because I've changed Suzanne's bedding. And then this is my niece's. It's a kind of a packet of 80s nostalgia stuff. Inside there's a Tamagotchi Nano Pac-Man. There's a David Bowie wall art, movie coasters from the 80s, Pac-Man earrings, cassette tape earrings, 2 vintage Masters of the Universe paperback books, a Blockbuster game, an E.T. Pez set, Cabbage Patch books, a My Little Pony, Firefly Pegasus is in there, and a Star Wars pillow. So because those are vintage items, we just packaged them together. And actually this is on eBay. And on eBay I've got it for $49, but I'm gonna sell it at the garage sale for $35. And then lots of clothes. Some of these are Suzanne's, some of them are mine. And what we're gonna sell them for, and I've just got these, I need to move these because they're dresses. I've got a dress from Anthropologie and a Hawaiian dress that my sister got me when she went to Hawaii. Anyway, I'm gonna sell this group. T-shirts for $2, blouses $3, sweaters $4, jackets $4, coats $5. I know y'all can read. I didn't need to read that to you, but anyway, that's what we're gonna sell this group for. And I have some jeans on the floor that I need to sell from J. Crew. And then this is also my niece's. It's a vintage little Cabbage Patch doll with its papers and everything. So on eBay, we're selling it for $79, but at the garage sale, we're gonna ask $45. I don't know if that's good, bad, or in between. I have no idea if we're charging the right thing or not, but you know, some people are just nuts about Cabbage Patch dolls. So, and they are kind of cute. Suzanne has one. It's the Olympic Cabbage Patch, and of course she wants to keep it, so it's still in my house. These are the Poshmark clothes from my niece and great nieces that have not sold, and so we're going to try our best to maybe get these sold. So we're saying that the children's clothes, whatever's marked on them, will be half price, which will reduce my eBay and Poshmark down so that I can start adding some new things. Suzanne is selling a lap desk that she used for her computer, and Suzanne and my sister are selling Christmas items here. I found some books in my house that I'm going to mark and sell. I'm not into Nicholas Sparks anymore. I've already read these books, and I don't know. They've had their due. They're just paperback. I'm going to keep my hardback books, but I'm not going to keep the paperback ones. So these are going to go. We're going to try to sell our phone cases. These are also on eBay, but we're going to see if we can get those sold. I don't have them marked because I need to talk to Suzanne and see how much we want to sell them for, because mine are Caseleys, and Caseley is pretty expensive. So, you know, they cost anywhere from $35 to $45, especially if it has a MagSafe piece on it, like this one. So those cost $45 if you buy them, you know, brand new. I think I got mine on sale though. But anyway, we need to get rid of some iPhone Pro Max 12 and 13. These are the 13s. There's some jewelry we need to get rid of. A lot of this is Suzanne's, and much of this is Suzanne's that she just is ready to say goodbye to. I'm sorry, we live by a highway, and so there's always somebody going down, and it ruins the sound. But anyway, a billfold and several pairs of sunglasses. Suzanne is a sunglass hoarder because she justifies it by saying sunglasses always fit, but then you get tired of them. So anyway, she's going to sell her sunglasses, I think, for $1 each. And on the jewelry, we're going to say pick 2 pieces and they're $1. 2 for 1. How about that? Oh, okay, here we go. Phone cases, wow, we went down a lot. $4. She might want to change that, I don't know. We might want to change that price, because that's a bargain and a half. Some headbands, some scarves that are $1 each, and that's that. I have several pairs of shoes that I need to sell. These are volatiles, and they're pretty expensive. Like, by expensive for me, I mean like $48, $50. So I would like to get some. I hardly ever wore these right here. Hardly ever wore them. So, I mean, one of them probably I wore once. So I'd kind of like to get some money out of those if I can. So $10 for those. And these were Suzanne's, $5 for those. Had some rugs that I need to get rid of. This was my sister's rug, and I'm going to sell this little set. This set is made out of resin. It's just plastic, but it does have, I put a glass top on top of it. We'll still be here. At the end of the day, we go half price on everything. And then the last hour, I usually go, take it. Just take it. I don't want it. So, I don't, let that be known, but seriously, when it's in a garage sale, you don't want it to come back into your house, or I don't. There's nothing that I'm married to, particularly, so to speak. So, yeah, I want it gone and out and done. So, wish us luck. Oh, dear Lord, let these things go to people who need them. A lot of the clothes and stuff are really good. They're hardly worn. So it's not like we're giving away junk. It's just that they've seen their day and we're finished. My hair, we tried something different when I went to the salon last week. I said I was tired of my white strips that I had in my hair. So instead of having white strips here, I've got white strips here. Anyway, she went back to doing some highlighting. And when I have my hair pulled back like this, I look like I belong in a Halloween movie. I don't know. But I can't leave my hair down and work. So that's why it is up and out of my way. That boy, in the sunlight, I'll kind of be glad when a few washings tones this down. All right, so right now I am waiting for them to come. They are in town, but they're shopping at the little shop that we went to the other day that sells a lot of what I was talking about. And I didn't show you because it's not that big a deal, but you know, like sugar-free items and items that have low fat, stuff like that, things that we need. My sister is now a diabetic. She is a 1, whatever that means. I am still pre-diabetic, so I think once you reach our ages, you're gonna have some sort of diabetic something. And so we're trying to kind of watch that. So anyway, waiting for them, and we will go on about our day. I don't know what we're gonna do tonight, but if they don't mind me filming, I'll show some things, but I try to, be aware of their privacy. So, tomorrow, garage sale. Here we go. Oh, another year.